So when it comes to nutrition, I would advise you to use your 5 fingers as your measuring tools as far as meat is concerned. No meat should be bigger than your 5 fingers combined. Because if the amount of meat you are going to eat is more than the enzymes that your pancreas, your small intestine are going to produce, only a small portion will be digested. The rest will be left in your stomach. And we've seen this over and over in the autopsy room, on the gurney. When you cut the stomach open, you see meat that is sitting there has turned green. Meat has turned green. For how long it has been there? So when people have some digestive problems, I'm not able to digest meat, well, how much meat do you eat? You see people go to gyros. You know gyros or gyros, I don't know. And you see a whole plate, a mountain of meat. Slices, slices, slices. My God. Will you produce enough enzymes to digest all these strips of meat? And then you are bloated. Then you are passing gas all night. And you don't understand. This is what I have to bring to your attention. Take good care of yourselves. When you are eating, make sure, if you are eating rice, make sure there is also some beans. If you have navy beans, small navy beans, that's the best. After small navy beans, then black eyed pea, and then you stop there. And a garbanzo once in a while, that's all right. But these are the beans. These are the legumes that you have to add. Because if you don't add legume, you are going to produce homocysteine. And homocysteine damages the heart. Homocysteine. Yesterday, I discussed homocysteine. The spelling of homocysteine is H for Harry, O for Oscar, M for Mary, O for Oscar, C for comfort, Y for yellow, S for sun, T for Thomas, E for Edward, I for ink, N for Nancy, E for Edward. Homocysteine. There is a lot of methionine in rice. You have to balance it with beans that has a lot of lysine. If you don't balance this very well, and you get herpes, it will take a long time to cure this herpes. You have created growth factors for the herpes virus because you don't know how to eat. And God will never come down to show you how to eat. Yes, ma'am.
What was the chemical you said that was in the rice and the one that was in the beans?
Okay, the one that is in rice is called methionine. M for Mary, E for Edward, T for Thomas, H for Harry, I for ink, O for Oscar, N for Nancy, I for ink, N for Nancy, E for Edward. Methionine. And then lysine in beans is L for Larry, Y for yellow, S for sun, I for ink, N for Nancy, E for Edward. Lysine. You have to balance methionine with lysine all the time. If you don't, and you eat rice with stew, rice with fish, rice with something, without balancing it with lysine, you are going to have a lot of homocysteine. And as a result, your heart will be very weak. People have high blood pressure, and the lower reading is more than 90. If the lower reading is more than 90, your heart is very weak. So when somebody has high blood pressure, ask the person, what is your upper reading? If the upper reading is more than 140, 150, it means that there is too much plaque in the blood vessels. There is too much plaque in the blood vessels. And if the lower reading is more than 90, you have too much methionine. Your heart is weaker and weaker and weaker. So as far as nutrition is concerned, you have to know how you are eating so that you have to balance your foods properly. The days of eating to fill the stomach, those days are gone. Oh, I'm hungry. Let me get some plantain and some peanuts and then drink some soda. Those days are gone. Fried plantain, roasted plantain and peanuts for lunch, and soda to wash it down, those days are gone. Well, the physicians are there and are praying for you to be sick. So that you come and they will cut you up. And the more they cut you up, the more money they will make. They did not put you in a car or tie you into a taxi cab to bring you to their hospital or to their clinic. You came there, you walked there, you drove there. So what they will do to you, they will do to you. So we are here to advise you, to give you the proper scientific advice so that you stop sacrificing yourself on the altar of allopathic medicine. That's what we are doing. You have come a long way, but we will not let you go empty. We are giving you information, knowledge that will be for you forever. You want to drink some juice? Fine. What kind of juice do you want to drink? You want to mix carrot with spinach and call it jamba juice? What kind of juice do you want to drink? You have to know what carrot contains. Don't eat carrot just because of beta carotene. You are not a rabbit. The rabbit has the enzymes that speed up the conversion of beta carotene to vitamin A very fast. You are a human being. You have 2 legs. Your process of converting beta carotene to vitamin A is very slow. It's very slow. You can convert only 1 or 2 carrots.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Yes, yes, yes. This is Tarif Unc L with All Gansu. Today, we're still on today on October the 26th, 2013. We are going further into our macrocosm effort, so that a lot of the things that are discussed and conflicted on the microcosm has a deeper discernment and understanding, because there's so many diverse perceptions and ways to look at things that we do need to see how things unfold from the top of the beginning. Again, our science is the science of Nuapu. All respects to everyone else, from the Moorish science to the Dogon science, to whatever other particular manner in which people tend to explain things. But what I would do is a very, again, brief synopsis. Not going to spend a lot of time, trying to go through definitions, because what happens is the more words that you add on, sometimes it becomes clearer. But what I would like people to do is to take the time to research, upon reading this, or commenting on our Facebook page, AU space GANSUL is Algansu. It will be underneath my notes, so that if there's any further questions, then we can do that. And after we do this class, we will be going into, we'll just have a brief overview of the 3 classes, and then we'll be going into the next manner. Either it would be matter or it would be time. But what I will go ahead and do is let you know, underneath trust law, all right, there are 5 elements that you deal with in trust. That's intent, purpose, parties, properties, and the method of delivery. For the intent is for, the blind will not only see, pun on words, XI, in parentheses, SEE. We use the word see for she or Olmec, the seers, but so that people will also do. The purpose is for growth. The parties are the Anubians, a.k.a. Nubians. The property is the discernment, that is right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, a.k.a. Nuapu. Method of delivery, Nashua Mahut, that is telepathic communications, a.k.a. indigenous media. From the Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti, page 91. I'll start with the statement: under and behind all outward appearances or manifestations, there must always be a substantial reality. Substantial meaning essence, reality meaning enduring, valid, fixed, permanent. All right. All of these changing things must be but outward appearances or manifestations of some underlying power, some substantial reality. Whatever you see, and just a brief interpretation. Whatever you see on an outward sense must be, there must be an underlying power. There must be, in other words, we are in the flesh, but we know that contained the flesh is on the top, and what's contained within the flesh is the bone, the blood, down, our organs down to cells, molecules, water, oxygen, and so forth. So you must understand and comprehend that there is an underlying power to anything that you see outward, because a lot of times what people get, and they get, what do you want to call it, hypnotized by the outward appearance of things and don't know the nature of the thing that they are so infatuated with. So, we do need to, not all pun on words at what we see come out, but to know the root. Page 97, the all is knowable, for if you are in the all and you are knowable, then the all is knowable. There, I guess, basis behind this was the fact that a lot of people, or in the religious circles, when there's a lot of questions, there's people that fall back when they can't answer a question as if God, if somebody says they don't know, then they feel like, you ask a question about saying, some things are just not meant to be known. That's a normally cop out to talk off. But, our affirmation is that the all is knowable, because you are in the all and you are knowable. If you have knowledge of self, then in gaining the knowledge of yourself is in gaining the knowledge and knowing of making the all knowable. All right? The all must be all that really is. There can be nothing existing outside of all, else the all would not be the all. Even the all is in all. Okay, now the key emphasis here is the all must be, which is another word for existing, all that really is that's existing. And the fact that there's, someone had made a statement that the all is completion, but there is nothing outside of the all, or it would not be the all. Now, it's time to expand a little bit. The all must be in the infinite, for there is nothing else to define, confine, bound, limit, or restrict all. It's because what happens is with the finite mind is there's parties that want you to explain and define the all right? Now, what I'm doing is not defining the all. The purpose for this is discernment. Okay? Because again, how there is no way to define infinite. It's nothing, again, one of the main points is that there's nothing else to define it. There's nothing that you can confine it. You can't bound it. So when people say completion, it's not complete because you can't bound it. There is no limit. You know what I'm saying? That means that it's not complete. And there is no restriction, which means that it's not any other territory. That's why the word ALL, all, is fit within the English language. Okay? It must be infinite in time, in a finite state of time, eternal. It must have always continuously existed. You know, you have to realize that when we, that just to make yourself comfortable. Again, this is for your mind to expand.
This is part 2. And this is somewhere that many of you maybe chose not to many of you may have chose to skip over or never discuss, but now is the time and it must begin. We are on page 1 of the Holy Tablet. Begin all acts and thinking by using El Kalun All. We're going to go to line 6. We're going to start on page 1, line 6. And this is for the development of equity eyes. These supreme beings called Anunnaki, whose way of life was called Nuwabu, was endowed by El Kalun. Now, again, without learning etymology and thesaurus and using the thesaurus, the intent will move past you. So since we're looking at things with equity eyes, the word endowed, remember I said it starts with grant, with giving, was endowed to the Anunnaki, the science of Nuwabu. Line 7 says, glory be to the one appointed. When you see the word appointed, this means that the conveyance has taken place and there has been an entity put in charge for the benefit of another, what some will call a trustee, who some will call the first trustee. So again, it says, glory be to the one appointed, who is called in tones and new, and on earth El Elo, known to many by different titles. Again, acknowledgement of trust. Because in trust there's 3 titles, known by different titles. I want to yield the floor to Brother Obadiah at this time.
Like he said, the word endowed, look it up. It says to provide with a permanent fund or source of income, to furnish, to grant, to deliver, to give, like he said, like the brother said, to give. The word appointment. Everybody should know what an appointment means. A conveyance, a transfer, a merger, an acceptance of an assignment. All of that is in trust. And by us reading from the Holy Tablets, it's letting you know we have our own equity. I'm going to stop right there.
On line 10, it says, and so it was, for once humans became rulers over the planet Earth, you gradually forgot that your purpose, which is second point after the intent that came from the all. The all gave the intent, the aim, the creation, the giving of life. Then you forgot your purpose. In life, I continue, was to gain your way back towards the sustainer. See, so now you can't even get to the rest of the trust because you have defaulted into the public.